Today's Wednesday. This car needs to have brakes tonight. It's got to go to Bob McVeigh tonight so he can put it in the trailer tomorrow to go to Pontiac Nationals this weekend. That's the plan. As of right now, we have got disc in the front, drum in the rear. We've got a master cylinder on it that's not going to do it. We've got a brake booster that's not going to do it. And the engine doesn't create enough vacuum. So, plan for tonight. And yes, I said tonight. It is 5:30 and we're getting this process started. Need to pull off the brake booster and the master cylinder. Need to bleed the new master cylinder, get those two mounted on the firewall. Need to install and set up a vacuum booster and a vacuum pump and a vacuum canister so that this thing actually will stop with my brand new super cool vacuum assisted power brakes. Unfortunately, my really nice 455 that's in this thing plays a good sound, doesn't make a lot of engine vacuum. Not enough to be able to power my braking system. So I'm gonna get this thing pulled in. I gotta get this thing torn apart. A lot of work to get done. This is gonna be an after hours kind of experience because we've gotta get this vehicle done tonight. It's gotta be up to Bob's, which is like an hour, 20 minutes that way, after I get all this work done. So time to get to work. Not enough talking, or too much talky, not enough worky. Let's get inside and get working. For those of you who are new here, this is my 1970 Pontiac LeMans. 455 powered. Previously it was drum powered. It is now disc drum powered with a disc brake conversion from Jegs. And it's been a great little cruiser. This is a cruiser. This is not a race car. I do drive this car a lot. It is not by any means a drag car, but it is going to be doing a little bit of drag car duty this weekend. Turbo 350 transmission, 336 rear end gears with posi, not ideal for racing. It should be able to run, I would say, probably a mid to low 12. We got a set of racing slicks over there, so maybe it'll be able to click off an 11 on a set of slicks. I don't know. Never made a pass with this car. I have no clue what it'll make. But got to be able to get the whoa when you got plenty of go. So that's what we're working on today. Let me show you what I've got over here that I need to get installed. Our pile of Jegs brake parts here. And I got some instructions. Removing the original booster. Good to see. Yep, right there. Got it. Thank you. And then we've got our bracketry. Got our master cylinder. And then we got our booster in this box. Box within a box, of course. And then looks like I got some extra line here as well to be able to plumb it. Vacuum brake line. Yeah. For those interested, power brake conversion kit with proportioning valve for GM, A, F, and X body. Part number 630011. Quick disclaimer, not sponsored by Jegs. Spend a lot of money with Jegs, not sponsored by Jegs. So before you say, oh, you're just using sponsored stuff, no, paid for it all, not sponsored. So I will be honest about everything that I'm getting installed here. Show you what we got the under hood here. Ooh, didn't generate too much heat. Cast iron block, cast iron heads. These suckers hold heat like crazy. So if you do spend a lot of time coming into the shop, you're going to need an hour or two to cool down. As far as I'm concerned, original booster to the car. This is a master cylinder that we had sitting around from another project and just swapped onto it to see whether or not that did anything. The answer is no, it did not. So need to get this off, get those lines cracked, get this off the booster, get the booster off the firewall, crawl up underneath the floor in the footwell and get that done. And then we also got to figure out where we're going to mount the vacuum pump and vacuum pod, which might go over here where this MSD box is currently located. That's currently fried. Another long story, figure that out. But I do want to have that close over here, so I think maybe this fender is probably the best bet for it. Well, let's get some wrenches, get to work. Yes, I know I'm not normally a power tools guy, but time is of the essence. I don't have time to screw around and burn calories. Just get it apart. Don't be cute about it. Alright, this may be a bit hard to show on camera, but if you look back there, that is your... I'll focus past that piece right there. Show it. Show it. There you go. It's a nut there, nut there. Got to pull those off, and unfortunately there's also two on the other side that you got to get off that plate, and then we can remove the booster off and then do the reverse and put the new one on. Also got to make some adjustments and things, make sure everything's properly set up, but you get the idea. So I need a 9/16 kind of long wrench to be able to get in there. Let's get her done before I possibly make a mess of myself. These nuts, I am going to penetrating oil these guys just to be on the safe side. Oh, that's gonna not be fun. 9/16 is now 14 millimeter. Yeah. I'm gonna steal one of Rich's lights. Cracked, broken, beaten. Still works. Don't! Didn't hear that hit the ground. Let's go get my 9/16 back. At least it fell through. 1, 3 more to go. Well, I'm fun yet. Okay, final one. I'm gonna try to show you guys, for those of you who have never done this before, what exactly I'm trying to do here. See that one on the bottom there? That one right there. Problem is, you're between these two pieces. Now that piece right there does move. It is rubber. But it's basically one click of a ratcheting wrench between that stud and that piece. So tick 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 tick. Yeah. All while Supermaning. And by the way, it's 100% humidity here. It rained earlier, but not enough to cool it down. It's also 90 degrees outside. Great day. Great day. Almost done. Not almost done. Almost done taking it apart. Got it. Winning. All right, booster's free. Now I gotta lay the other way in the footwell, which is basically just as fun to get it off the brake pedal assembly. Take a short Gatorade break. We'll get back to that. This is very comfortable. Oh, and it's wet.
Yeah, it did get rained on, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Did you have the window down while it was raining?
No, but this thing does have a little bit of a leaking problem.
Yeah.
Alright, don't punch yourself in the face with the clip.
I only laugh because I've been doing this way too many times in my life.
Alright, clip.
Got it.
Now, how does...
It's taking the slack.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Does that help?
I got it.
It's a lot easier with the third hand.
Wiggle it. Wiggle it. Alright, we're loose.
And now you just got to get the nuts off the bottom of the booster.
Yeah, all it's got is a grommet. Oh.
There's nothing fun about that part.
My ponytail is soaked in floor water. Gross. Why do I feel like that was on the top?
Was it on the top? Was it installed wrong?
No, it was on the bottom.
Okay.
That'll piss me off.
All your problems are due to the fact that it's in the wrong friggin' hole. It's in the wrong hole.
Alright.
That's what she said.
You think I got a spare 9/16 in here? Are you filming for that? Nope.
Actually, it's I will say this is easier with the hood off. Do you want to pull the hood?
When I'm on my last bolt?
Well, you got to go back together, remember?
I feel like that smaller booster is going to be a lot easier to go back together.
That's an interesting feeling.
Yeah, see, here's some... That's a 2.5-year-old beard hair right there.
Some of your beard hair coming off. Yeah, working on cars with beards is hard.
Dude, horrible idea. Why did nobody mention that Santa doesn't work on his own stuff?
Santa's got people for that.
God. I want you to come like a half-inch forward. That's all I want you to do. Of course, I was also smart by putting this on the alignment rack so the car is
Another foot higher.
a foot higher and even more uncomfortable to get into.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
The alignment rack is great for doing alignments, and that's about it.
All right. Nut off.
Remove.
Booster.
Hey, you did a thing. Well, halfway. There you go.
Whew. There's another beard hair. All right, so
It's kind of like wearing loose clothing when you're operating a lathe. It's not a good idea.
I had a moment. I don't even remember what I was working on. I had a moment where I like bent over, and the car was running, and the belts are like right there in front of me.
That's bad.
And I'm looking at my beard, and I almost leaned into it. I'm like, whoa, that would have been a bad YouTube video.
That would have been bad.
Big bald spot as it rips right out of my face.
Oh.
Huh. All right, so
that hurts.
bracket.
Glad I've never done that.
Yeah, I tell you, man, like literally after Christmas this year, we're going, Santa's going sporty for next spring. Maybe grow it out in the fall. All right, so these things will go this way.
Yep. Wall of the bracket towards the inside. Yep, just like that.
I think that makes a ton more sense to put that on before I put the booster on. Because then all you got to do is bolt the booster to this, right?
Correct. It's still a pain. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's
Less of a pain.
less of a pain.
Okay. So roughly speaking, what Rich was talking about off camera that you probably didn't see is the bracketry on this. Those are riveted onto that booster, and this one's got bolt-ons. So this plate goes against the firewall, like so, and then that booster bolts into this. These are riveted on the old booster. But I want to make my adjustments to this thing at least close while it's all apart and match it sort of kind of up to what that one was, and then make my fine adjustments once I have it on the car. So I spend as little time as possible in my floor swamp upside down trying to make my adjustments so my pedal feel and my pedal engagement is correct. And we're going to hope this gets me what I need. Some of you might get a little bit grumpy with what I'm about to say, but one of the benefits of working on a car that's not pristine is you can work on it, use it as a workbench. Not necessarily not saying I'm going to damage the car, but if I scratch something or damage some small little bit, it's not that big of a deal versus if I was working on a car that's, you know, a Builder's Choice Awards kind of thing or something along those lines. I would have to worry about dinging and denting and scratching and everything. Whereas this car, I can work on it, I can get it a little dirty, I can beat the crap out of it, go get ice cream and still be happy about how it looks and how it drives, not worry about it. I'm trying to get this throw to be close to what that throw is, which is pretty dang close. I got my pin and my, ooh, it's a pin and a cotter instead of a clip. All right. This has a welded nut on it, so that's nice. So all I gotta do is just run it down. Use this nut as the adjuster. Pretty dead burn close. Pretty dead burn close. We'll make the adjustments underneath. Let's get our brackets on and get the booster mounted to the brackets. Alright, we're on the going back together phase. Yay! Then we'll see if I got brakes. And if I don't have enough brakes, which I probably won't, then we got to do the vacuum pump and the vacuum canister. But test it at this point in time. And we'll bleed the system once we got everything done. I'll need to bench bleed this also. We'll bleed the system and see whether or not we got brakes. If we do, great. If we don't, we do the vacuum stuff. If we don't, then I can get my $300 back too. Hopefully this is smart putting these brackets on first. We'll know shortly. And then put the booster on the brackets. Instead of the brackets on the booster, and then put those on it. We'll see. I feel like this is the smart way to do it. So, booster goes on there. Got my 4 nuts. Alright, and this guy goes on that way, so my vacuum port is over on this side. Okay. This is definitely easier with the hood off. It is more than mildly in the way. Bob's your uncle. Yeah, I like it. I should be able to access all those studs to run these nuts down. Let's actually do it. How many of you guys use your phone now as your close-in shop light? It's rather handy. Alright, so 1/2 inch nuts on the back of the booster. Booster is mounted to the bracket. That is good. Pull the hose off, be able to get the hose on the booster. Need to connect the I need to connect the linkage to the pedal and probably make some adjustments down there. It goes in the bottom port, not the top. There are two on that brake pedal. Top is for manual brakes, bottom is for power brakes. So connect it with that pin. It's got a pin and a cotter pin. No big deal. I shouldn't have much in the way of bleeding to do because this was already bled. So I'll bench bleed the master cylinder, and then it's easy. Just mount 2 bolts here and then attach the lines, and then we'll see what happens. So we're close. We're gonna hope that this works even with not a lot of engine vacuum. If it doesn't work, then we gotta, technically speaking, I could plumb in the canister by itself and not use the pump, because I do kind of hate how loud those pumps are. Problem is, on stop and go traffic, you're gonna deplete that canister when you're at idle, because your engine's not making enough vacuum at idle. So I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right, pin, cotter pin, back under the dash, into the crap. Oh, I hate doing this part. Oh yeah, that's way too long. Of course it is. Oh yeah. Definitely should have dried out my floorboards first. Alrighty. So off camera, unfortunately my battery was dead. I got my throw adjusted underneath with the pedal, and I got my pin in. I don't know if I could get you a view of that, but I'm gonna try. Whew. Let's see here. Can you see where that is? No, just trust me, it's right there. Hang on. You're not going to trust me. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you. All right. There you go. See how that looks there? Right there. And that gets our pedal nice and tight. Now, what we've got to do is bench bleed our master cylinder. Bleed that right there. And then these brake boosters have an adjustable bullet here. There's a this comes out, and then there's a locking piece here that once you get everything mounted together, you can run the master cylinder down. You need to feel if there's any free play between when you start pushing the pedal down and when you start feeling resistance. Because if that bullet does not make contact with this piece, which is in the master cylinder, here, this guy sits in there. If there's a distance between that bullet and that master cylinder plunger, you're going to have free play in your pedal where there's no connection there at all. And you can adjust that. There's a little locking nut on it. So you need to pull that out, adjust the lock nut out to let that bullet come out further. And make sure you've got pedal engagement on that first part. Otherwise you may have nothing for the first quarter inch, half inch, which is not ideal. So you want to be able to use up all of that pedal travel and have brakes as soon as you start getting on the brakes. So let's go ahead and start bench bleeding the brakes. And then I can get my master cylinder mounted up, and then we can make sure that our brakes are functional. I'm going to bleed them at the top. I don't have anybody here to help me, so I'm going to have to do this kind of a little bit tricky. We have a brake compressor for the alignment rack that's around here somewhere that I will use to compress the brakes, and then I can crack the lines to be able to make sure that I've got all the air out of them. The brake lines themselves should still have air in them, or should still be fluid filled. Everything backwards should be fine, but I want to make sure that I've got all the air possible out of it. So that's what we're up to next. Next, brake bleeding, or bench bleeding the brakes on the brake master cylinder. Right over there. I've got Dot 3 brake fluid, and let's make a mess. Master cylinder is brake bled. This is lines on the right side, so capped off this side. Those are nice and tight. I'm going to refill the cylinders. I have the plastic caps on here. I'm going to refill the 2 reservoirs, put my cap on. Time to transfer this thing over onto the booster and see how our engagement is. And if we're super lucky, it works perfectly right out of the box. If you ever watched any videos of me working on any of my own stuff, I'm never super lucky. That's not going to happen. Alright, here we go. What do you think, guys? Am I going to get lucky? Or am I just getting started and have to hook up that canister and or the vacuum pump? I really would love to get lucky. At least once would be nice. At least once. Haven't been very lucky lately. Man, are you serious? Got it. Lines are on. Fittings are tightened. Need to hook up my vacuum. All right, folks. Uncle Bob's your uncle. Lines are connected. Yeah. See if we got brakes. Well, we're not leaking from anywhere up front. Brakes are horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Nothing there. Way worse than they were before. I'm gonna see if I can one-man bleed that the bench or the master cylinder at the top. Otherwise, I need to adjust out that bullet. We'll see. Well, I re-bled the master cylinder. Got a little bit of air out of it, not much, but watch here as I put the plunger through. There's not really there's nothing coming out, so no air in the master cylinder. That's not our problem. I have adjusted the bullet, which is this little guy here. It just turns with a pair of pliers. You just grab onto it and turn it counterclockwise to come out. I have adjusted this out about 4 turns, so it should be longer this way, which should give us better engagement on the back of the master cylinder. This is tricky to do one person. This is definitely a 2-person job, but that's all we got. So I'm going to reattach my master cylinder, reattach my lines, see if I've got something there. Try to crack it at the lines. I don't think I have any air in the master cylinder, but I'm going to crack it at the lines just in case, to make sure that maybe there's some air that's gotten into them while I've been dealing with this, system with the lines unlocked or unhooked. Again, which is tricky with only one person here. So I'll do the best I can. At the moment, the brakes are 100% worse than they were when I started this process. So at minimum, I'm going to need to put on that canister. I have a feeling I'm going to need that pump, which sucks. Especially because it's 9 o'clock at night already, and I'm really not in the mood to try to figure that all out right now. We're having fun though, right? We're having fun. Okay. Go clean up one more time. So I got brake fluid all over myself again. We'll see if we got brakes. Hopefully we got brakes. Please have brakes. Well, pedal feels better, at least with no vacuum. Well, it's better than it was, so that fixed at least a little bit, whether that was a little bit of air in the master cylinder or that bullet adjustment. Technically, I could pull it loose and adjust that bullet a little bit more, which I think I might do. See how it does when I move the car. I can bleed out the lines up here. See if I've got a little bit of air in the lines up here. But, not bad. Probably drivable. Aha! Mr. Organization! Brake pedal depressor. I didn't get the memo. Nothing left to do but to do it. Give her a test drive, see what's up. For those of you who have been paying attention to me and my automotive shenanigans for a long time, you will know that there is a horrible historical situation here of me backing a Pontiac LeMans off of this alignment rack, having a brake failure. Many moons ago, I had a brake failure with doing exactly this. One of my rear lines popped, and I stopped that car with a car, which was very expensive for me. To be honest, it feels pretty good. It stops, that's for damn sure. Whoa! Good brakes too. That's got a lot of brakes. Way more than I expected it to have. Man. Okay. Well. I think I did a thing. Huh. Would you have that? I think I did a thing. See how well this thing stops in a straight line. See if it pulls it all. I'm going to center this line up. Give her some brakes. A slight pull to the right, but not too bad. I love this car. I really love this car. Well, guys, I'd call that a win. Got discs in the front, got drums in the rear, new power brake booster, new master cylinder. Everything is good and ready to go. Governor change in the transmission. Definitely up my my shift point by probably 500 RPMs on the 2-3 shift, which is good for me. I want this thing to be able to underpower, be out at like 5,500 RPMs or so when it hits the shift, which I think we're at the good spot. I don't know, guys. I think this is a win. I think this is a win. So, I got to get this car to Bob. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. Because he is in Mount Vernon, which is an hour and 15 minutes away from here, in the middle of nowhere. It is 9:36 at night, which means I would get there by 11, and there's no Ubering up that way, and there's no cabs up that way. So, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but that's a tale for another video. Jegs kit worked out well. Even though I don't have as much engine vacuum as they would request, it does brake just fine. I do have my vacuum pump as well as the vacuum canister in case I want to use them. At the moment, I don't think I need to. I can take a couple of sets of wrenches and things with me. So in case we want to adjust that, that bullet where that engagement point is, we can do that. I do also have an adjustable bias proportioning valve. That's the word I was looking for. It's 2 words actually. That if we want to use that, I can. It's definitely front brake heavy for sure. You could feel it endo when I grab the brakes, but that's okay. This will get eventually the rear disc brake conversion done. We got to figure out on the whole rear end situation though what we're going to do there. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the rear disc brakes on this. Obviously not tonight, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put rear discs on this car and just get that part done. So this car is 4-wheel disc, and then we'll sort out the mess that's going to be the 68 Le Mans at another time. I have a feeling that's going to end up with a whole brand new rear end in it. Do like a Ford 9-inch and do a disc brake conversion already on it. So that's probably what that's going to be. But at least we get one win tonight. This thing is done and ready to run. Bob, I apologize, sir. I know I was supposed to get this vehicle to you last week, and then I said I was going to get it to you tonight. I don't know how I can do that. And Katrina has to work extra tomorrow. Amazon Prime Week. Otherwise, I'd have her run up there with me. I might see what I can finagle for tomorrow, and I have to get this car up to him because he's got to get it in the trailer, and he's got to get it up to Norwalk tomorrow. So I've got to get this figured out in the morning. Anyway, that's all for me to figure out, and you guys don't have to worry about it. I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for being here. Welcome to Automotive Adventures with Austin. This is my little YouTube channel that's a side project from the normal stuff at the shop. Nights, weekends, evenings, that kind of stuff. My free time when I'm not doing official work at Lucor. If you're interested in this kind of thing, that's not technically the official stuff. That's what this channel's all about. So click on the subscribe button. It's going to be all about me and my stupidity and all my projects. So glad to have you here. Hope you had a good one. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you probably at Norwalk for Pontiac Nationals. That will be over on the main channel for Lucor Automotive. But I'll be doing my full coverage as I always do over there. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.